6 p.m. in Dub, that is in the Gokitunja division of the Northwest region of Cameroon. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me on today's edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast. For presentation, I am Immaculate Fogwe. Many Cameroonians are questioning the motives behind the visit of French Ambassador for Gender, Jean-Marc Berthon, to Cameroon. His planned visit has triggered a wave of reactions on social media. Reacting to the release, Cameroon's Minister of External Relations, Lejeune Belambela, reminds the French Ambassador for Gender on the stance of the government of Cameroon on a definition of gender orientation and sexual identity. And the bad state of farm-to-market roads in Cameroon has been blamed for the rise in prices of basic commodities across the country. Farmers using the Gonjok-Bafang stretch of road in the West region say they are suffering while decrying the fact that a lot of their farm produce have been getting bad, causing them to incur enormous financial losses. Those are major stories. Stay with us for details and more. We begin on the issue with regards to bad roads. The local population of Douala is complaining about the deplorable state of roads in the economic capital city. Visiting some stretches, potholes were very visible. According to residents, the situation is adversely affecting daily activities. Let's now discover the bad state of roads in Douala in this report done by AC Luciliengo.
Huge craters filled with water. We are in Dokoti, Douala 3 subdivision, few meters from the Douala Court of Justice. Plying this stretch of road, be it at night or during the day, has become a daunting task for road users. On daily basis, people get stuck in traffic jams. Bike riders say they visit the garage every day because their bikes get bad due to breakdowns.
Et ça nous garde les fouches là. Et ça nous garde la moto.
The situation is further worsened during the rainy season, given that most roads are practically impassable. Moving from Dokoti to Peka 21, it is almost impossible to cover a short distance without noticing potholes. The inhabitants complain that most of these roads constructed with pavements are poorly done.
Quand ils sont partis, les pluies ont commencé, ça a commencé à creuser ça vrai, les camions, les petites voitures, nous les motos alors, si tu t'amuses, tu renverses même le client.
And sometimes authorities take a long period of time to carry out construction work. A major challenge for students around the neighborhood who go late to school as a result of the poor state of roads.
Par exemple, comme programme en cours à 7 heures, si tu quittes même à 5 heures, tu arrives à partir de 12, les embouteillages, l'état de la route est mauvais, tu te retrouves en train d'arriver au campus à 8 heures.
One may think it is better elsewhere, but unfortunately it is a similar situation in Bonamoussadi. Cars swim in huge craters which now look like lakes.
Jusqu'à ce que ça devienne parfois des nids d'éléphants, parfois des océans. Bon.
From Bonamoussadi, Maitu, cutting across Macheniu Daido, College Alfred Sake, the deplorable state of roads is causing congestion. The situation is complicated for inhabitants who have to go late for their businesses. Their wish is for the government to look into the state of roads in Douala so as to reduce road accidents and also accelerate economic activities. The poor state of roads has also prompted the reaction of some Douala chiefs who are denouncing the bad state of roads and called for the government to react soonest.
And still on news connected to the bad state of roads across the national territory, farmers using the Gonjok-Bafang stretch of road in the West region say they are suffering. Their greatest wish is that the 52-kilometer stretch of road be rehabilitated so they can easily transport their farm produce to other areas. Magic and Gabriel reports.
A car struggling to climb up a little hill. We are at a stretch of road linking in Gonjok in the Nkam division, littoral region, to Bafang in the West region.
When I don't see how we
You have seen that since morning we have been stuck here because of the poor state of the road, and there is no means. We are asking the government to think about Nkonjok because it is not only an agricultural zone, but it also feeds the whole country. The stretch of road, which measures 52 kilometers, is a thorn in the flesh of several persons who use the road, particularly farmers who frequently use the road to transport their produce to the main markets in town. With the start of the rains, the people who ply this stretch of road have started feeling the pains as the road is already in a poor state. Apart from the vehicles, commercial motorbikes are also having tough times to move on the road. It is alleged the sum of 4 billion francs CFA was allocated for the tarring of the road, but till date, no feedback, and the people beg for an urgent reaction from the government. We are requesting Minister Emmanuel Ganon Jumesi to think about us. We are not yet in the heart of the rainy season, but we are suffering. Rather than the minister using 1 billion francs CFA each year to maintain the road out of the 4 billion francs CFA programs, they should do everything possible to tar the road, which will help us transport our foodstuffs from Konjok and North Makumbe.
Though it be fine say them try for finish with the good run one time, say people from Konjok, them not suffer it.
Unfortunately, the farmers who mostly use this road for the transportation of their cash crops will have to wait for another year to see if their road will be tarred. This is so because for the current year running, the government has planned to tar 200 kilometers of road in all 10 regions without the Bafang-Konjok road on their agenda.
And circulation was perturbed within the day along the Bonamusadi-Bonabo stretch of road in the Douala 5 subdivision. Road users were forced to spend over an hour on the same spot due to rehabilitation works being done by council workers. Drivers decry the fact that the bad state of this road is perturbing circulation, making life extremely difficult for them. They are calling on the government to rather carry out rehabilitation works on the stretch of road, maybe during the weekend or within the night, so it can ease circulation. Several passengers noticing the long queue were forced to get down off their vehicles and walk past the area where traffic was tense. And now we talk something else. Fabian Tanfak, a young man in the west region of Cameroon, has been detained at the Chang Central Prison for the past 41 years after he was accused of buying a stolen radio. Some family members who have been fighting for his release have all died, and only his brother is left to tell the story. Mala Glory has more.
The suffering of Fabian Tanfak began in the town of Chang West region. The young man was arrested for buying a stolen radio and was later sent to jail. A scenario which started as a joke to the family members is today 41 years and still counting that Fabian has been detained at the Chang Central Prison. This was where he was arrested and sent to jail. Efforts to get the real motive behind his arrest has been futile. Despite all these challenges, family members of Fabian continue to fight for his release. At first we were told that his file could not be found, but after investigation we were informed that his file was seen in Bafsam. Fabian's only brother Emmanuel regrets that his brother's future has been ruined and feels sorry for him, who will never see his parents again. Our grandparents, our own parents, our brothers and sisters and more. It was a family of about 20 children. Today, we are only 2 left. They died while Fabian was still in detention. Today, Emmanuel prayed to his ancestors to intercede for the release of his only brother.
And inhabitants of the far north region of Cameroon are questioning the role of the regional council in the improvement of their precarious living conditions. They are saying that the council is doing very little or nothing to solve the socio-economic problems of their region. On their part, councillors are decrying mismanagement. Babla Jonathan reports.
Far North regional councillors examining documents of a controversial session. Controversial because of the limited time which they say was given to them to examine the documents ahead of the session.
Nous venons à peine de recevoir le document du travail. Or, la loi de collectivité territoriale décentralisée dit ceci que le document doit être remis ou bien donné aux conseillers régionaux 15 jours avant la session.
With regards to this, the councillors and population of the Far North region in general are questioning the contribution of the regional council in efforts to provide solutions to problems plaguing the region, including insecurity, poor road network, and inadequate good quality water supply.
Nous ne voyons absolument rien sur le terrain.
La plupart des projets, on nous a dit que ce n'était pas bien maturé.
Far North Regional President Daniel Kalbasu blames the low achievements of the council on poorly prepared projects and financial constraints.
Au niveau central, ce n'était pas facile.
According to him, it was not easy for the central administration to disperse the needed financial resources in the 2022 financial year.
Nous avons fait le maximum qu'on pouvait faire.
Notwithstanding, Daniel Kalbasu adds that the Far North Regional Council is progressing in the right direction in its duties. Out of a budget of close to 5.5 billion francs CFA, the council spent 4,320,120,049 francs CFA on what some of the councillors qualify as questionable investment projects with questionable execution and little or no impact on the living conditions of the population of the Far North region of Cameroon.
And now to our major lead story. Cameroonians are strongly against the practice of same-sex relationships in the country. They have firmly rejected the announced visit of the French ambassador for gender, Jean-Marc Berthon, to Cameroon. Annabella says homosexuality is contrary to our African beliefs and goes against cultures and traditions. Her report.
Cameroonians and the government are already forming a strong bloc against the practice of homosexuality in Cameroon. Any intimate relationship between same-sex is condemned and punishable in the country, according to Article 347/1 of July 12, 2016 in the Cameroonian Penal Code. The announced visit of the French ambassador for gender, Jean-Marc Berthon, has been firmly rejected by Cameroonian Minister for External Relations, Lejeune Belambela.
No political rally should end without condemning such an act. In every social gathering, at least 15 minutes should be dedicated to denouncing such a macabre act that should not pass in Cameroon.
The visit was slated for the end of this month has finally been cancelled. A decision applauded by Cameroonians who say they are strongly against such practices which go against our African cultures, values, morals and traditions. Same-sex intimate relationships sounds and feels awful to a normal African and a taboo and abomination in most countries across the world. It is against nature itself, hinders procreation, which is the very essence and pillar of our existence. Some communities are convinced same-sex couples are abnormal and sick, raising over 32 countries in Africa have said no to such practices described as dirty.
If we have failed to rise up for other ills that have been chopping Cameroonians, this is the time for us to rise up and face it. It should not go through. There will never be any law to protect any individual in Cameroon who practices such an act.
Even in Europe and America, where it all started, a great number of the population is still strongly against homosexuality. In Russia and in most Asian countries, talking about same-sex relationships in public, while still the practice, is strictly forbidden with heavy prison terms for defaulters.
No church service without a word of condemnation for this abominable act.
The announced visit of the French gender ambassador to Cameroon is already causing rising tempers among Cameroonians who say the Western world should stay with their beliefs and allow Africa to preserve and conserve its cultural and moral values.
And Cameroon joins the international community today, June 21st, to celebrate the International Music Day. Our reporter spoke to one of Cameroon's finest artists, Nous, and she explains the challenges faced by Cameroonian artists while mentioning the fact that more attention should be given to Cameroonian music rather than foreign music. Asia Lucy tells us more.
Music has been proven to play a key role in the life of many. This is because of its ability to transcend cultural barriers and connect people emotionally. In Cameroon, from the 1980s, 1990, and even the year 2000, we had more of Bikutsi, Ben Sikin, Makosa, Asiko, Nyang. But today, things have changed with the coming of new trends like Afropop, hip-hop, and the rest. Though 65% of music played in Cameroon are Western, many Cameroonians still prefer music from Cameroon. This is according to DJ Dissel.
Vous allez voir, on est branché hip-hop, coupé, décalé, Côte d'Ivoire, Congo, la pop music, elle est partout, partout.
Some renowned Cameroonian artists like Nous say music is life and Cameroon has a lot of talents to discover.
Cameroonian music has been on an evolution, has been on a growth, on a high speed, and I'm really happy that I get to be part of those people that have made Cameroonian music worth listening to. I still say Cameroon still has a lot of music that we have not discovered. I'm happy that we're getting the platforms that we deserve because Cameroonian music is going to touch the ends of the world like it has always done. It is going to be on another level because we, the younger generation, we are coming up with amazing stuff and we cannot wait to share with the world.
Celebrating this day is ideal for some music lovers.
Music is food for the soul, so I'm excited that we get to have a special day where we get to celebrate the one food that you don't see, you don't touch, but it makes you all full. So it's a special day for me, starting with, and other lovers of music all over the world.
When you also think Cameroonian artists have to step up their work to be at the top.
It keeps us on our toes because we have to work hard to feed these people. So I think that artists have to grow alongside the music. Music doesn't stay on the spot. Music grows and it's left to us to grow alongside so that we'll not feel left behind.
World Music Day is celebrated every year on the 21st of June. The first World Music Day was observed in 1982 in France when people were urged to play music outdoor to participate in festivities. Since then, World Music Day has spread to other parts of the world. The theme for the World Music Day 2023 is Music on the Intersections.
And happy World Music Day to all Cameroonian artists and also those abroad. And now we talk sports. Burundi has reactivated their hopes to participate at next year's African Cup of Nations with a win over Namibia. The win implies Cameroon should not make a mistake when receiving the Swallows in September, while Senegal becomes the third African nation to beat Brazil. Smajikan Gabriel with a roundup of our sports report.
The Swallows of Burundi have again put pressure on the indomitable Lions of Cameroon as they keep their hopes alive in qualifying for the next AFCON. Playing on Tuesday, Burundi defeated Namibia 3-2 to catch up with Cameroon on 4 points, just one below the group leaders Namibia on 5 points. With the victory of Burundi, it implies that come September, if Cameroon wants to qualify as leaders of Group C of the qualifiers, they must beat Burundi. A goalless draw will still qualify Cameroon as second best in its group thanks to the goal they scored away. Should Cameroon play a 1-1 draw or loss to Burundi in September, they will be kicked out of the AFCON in Ivory Coast. Cameroon remains the team with the least goals scored in their group, 3 goals in 3 matches. Group C of Cameroon has just 3 teams, Namibia and Burundi, after the disqualification of Kenya. The Teranga Lions of Senegal became the latest African nation to walk over the Seleção of Brazil in an international friendly encounter at the Estádio José Alvalade, home of Sporting Lisbon in Portugal. Goals from Habib Diallo. Own goal from Marquinhos. And a brace from Sadio Mane gave the Teranga Lions victory of 4 goals to 2 over Brazil, with Brazil's goals scored by Lucas Paqueta. And Marquinhos. Senegal became the first African nation to score more than 1 goal against the world football powerhouse Brazil. The victory of Senegal comes several weeks after another lion, the Atlas Lions of Morocco, defeated Brazil in an international friendly by 2 goals to 1 on March 25th, 2023. The black cloud hovering over Brazil in front of the Lions began in Qatar when Cameroon defeated them in a Group G match of the FIFA World Cup, 1 goal to 0. The goal was scored by Vincent Aboubakar.
From Douala on the Gulf of Guinea to Marua at its northernmost tip, points between and beyond. Rise and celebrate a moment.
And that's it for the first part of the news. Talking Point is up next. Thank you so much for staying with us today on Talking Point. Cameroonian artists have been clamoring that their music be given more attention. This comes after some people complained of the fact that foreign music is often played in most relaxation centers. The question of supporting your own has become a major debate topic on most platforms. While others think you ought to play 80% of Cameroonian music and just 20% of foreign music, others are of the opinion that people should consume what is good and that some Cameroonian artists should work on their art so as to get the much needed attention and support they deserve. How then can we regulate foreign content in Cameroon? Answers on today's edition of the news. And today on Talking Point, I will be receiving an artist. He's known as Nous, détenons. So good evening to you. Today is World Music Day. How significant is such a day to an artist like you?
World Music Day is very special for the Cameroonian artists as well as every other artist across the world because it's our day. It's a day when we get to reflect a little bit about this thing called music, which transcends every aspect of human life. There is no music, no life, really. Everything that you do has music to it. It's the soundtrack of our lives. And so it's a very special day. And I think that Cameroonian artists, to feel special and take it as special as every other artist across the world. I can't think of anything, like after food, air, that is as important as music.
As an artist, tell us, how do Cameroonians perceive Cameroonian music?
Well, the perception of Cameroonian music by Cameroonians has increased drastically over the past few years. We've gotten a lot more support, and we still continue to need to request that the public and fans to have more confidence in the music, both locally and internationally. But also, we need to be more open, to different genres of music as a country, and within the country as well. And not just popular music, because music is it's a form of expression and it comes in different ways. True, compared to other nations, we don't have a show business culture as such, and so you find that the level of engagement is significantly lower when you go to a place like Nigeria or the United States. And so yes, there's certain things that culture we have to address, not as the people but as a culture. How much importance we attach to culture, and this speaks to our general, economic and political, our general political economy, where we need to, try to create a more conducive environment for arts and culture and music in particular to thrive. That we don't have yet, honestly, compared to other countries. And I think that's one of the drawing forces that is pulling us back. But I think we have to appreciate the love that the fans Cameroon public is giving so far, and all countries encourage. I know when we say, for example, that the public is not as in tune to cultural development, people tend to think that it's just a joke or we're just trying to make excuses. No, it's not. But at the same time, we appreciate because people do support a lot. The Cameroon public is very supportive of musicians, and with time, we hope that it's going to get even better. Because for us to actually get there, where music becomes an economy, that makes the society to thrive. Because when musicians thrive, the economy is going to thrive. Yeah, we do need a lot more support.
A lot of snack bars and nightclubs tend to play more foreign music rather than Cameroonian music. According to you, who should be blamed?
We're not playing a blame game. In the process of development, you look at root causes and you address them. I don't think that culturally we don't have that sense of ownership of our own yet. And music is not bad, like wherever it comes from. I wouldn't say that. But what I do say is that we need to have policies in place that encourage more airplay of Cameroonian songs. So it starts with public broadcast channels like CRTV. We need to have strict policies where they prioritize and play maximum Cameroonian content, 80% of Cameroonian content. That way it's going to influence even the snacks and bars to play more Cameroonian music. Right now, without that direction from the top, it's very difficult. And so there's really no one to blame. People just want to listen to good music and have fun. And I think that the artists now are producing good content, a lot of good content. It's now a matter of policy to make sure that it's moved forward. We're not going to do that on Facebook and by screaming at each other and shouting. No, we're going to do it through careful strategy and through engagement to make sure that we get there, in the right way. And those things do take time. We're conscious of that. They do take time. But there's a general conscious now, and we're working towards that.
On social media, we have been getting the 80-20 campaign. What's your thought about it? And do you think it's the right way of bringing out this the artists out of, let's say, troubled waters?
80-20 is a laudable initiative. I started 80-20 as far back as 2016 after meeting President Olusegun Obasanjo, the former president of Nigeria, when we spent Easter together in his ranch in Nigeria. And he explained to us how the change of policy helped to fillip the growth of Nigerian music. And I think it's a policy that has been implemented successfully in South Africa that led to the rise of South African urban music as we know it today. The stars like Catherine Yves and AKA, and then many other fleet of stars that have risen. So it's something that needs to be promoted. What I am against is the banalization of the 80-20 campaign. So people appropriating and thinking that it's something that can be done by insulting or deteriorating others. No, not at all. We appreciate all forms of music. We encourage, we like to listen to good music, whether it's from Nigeria or Cameroon or anywhere. But we do acknowledge that we need to work strategically so that Cameroon as a country can prioritize the public broadcast of its own music. Majority, it's called protectionism. It happens in every industry, not just in music, where you protect local industry so you can grow and compete against others. The point is not to deny others or hate on others, but to make sure that we build ourselves to compete more favorably against them, because music is an international competition, and we must be ready to accept the importation of music as well as the exportation of music. Just as we go to perform in Ghana, in Gabon and Cote d'Ivoire, Nigerians come to perform here. Our role is to prioritize local broadcasts of our music so that we can listen more of our music, encourage more artists, pay them more money because of that, so that they can compete against other countries. Yeah, it's not about refusing or bringing down other people's art or trying to hate on other cultures and other music from other countries. Not at all.
You talked about collaboration. Why are Cameroonian artists so interested in collaborating with foreign artists? Are there any motives behind that?
Collaboration is a part of every business venture. It's not just about music. As a country, Cameroon has bilateral and multilateral agreements with other countries. Businesses open in different countries. They reach new markets. Everything about business and about enterprise is about going, pushing your borders as far as possible. And it's not different with Cameroonian music. Cameroonian musicians need to collaborate with other international artists because music is an international space. You cannot, operate locally only. And collaboration is that gateway to access new markets, just like other countries collaborate, with us and with other countries as well. There's nothing special about it. Yes, they do that, but it's part of business. In the media space, why you go on a channel? Why does the TV station go on the decoder? It's because you want to access new areas. That's collaboration with the service provider that puts you on those platforms. So it's same thing with music, and collaboration is a great thing. It's about sharing experience. It's about opening new markets, and we should have no qualms whatsoever about pushing international collaborations. They are great for the industry, for development and for expansion. There is nothing wrong for Cameroon artists collaborating with other artists. Let's talk Cameroon as a country. We do trade agreements with other countries. MTN or like cellular companies do multilateral international trade agreements. Actors collaborate with others. International businessmen establish their business in other countries. What is so wrong with Cameroon artists collaborating?
What they would like to know, at what level can we place Cameroon music at the moment?
Cameroon music is doing great at the moment. It has wonderful content, very competitive content, very talented artists. We do need a lot more significant structuralization and investment into the structure to ensure that we get to compete with other bigger industries. But to think of it already, Cameroon is quite a big, it's a powerhouse in the Central African region. We have the added advantage of being both English and French in our expression, which can work sometimes. But above all, we can express ourselves to the English market, to the French market, and I think that we need to be more conscious now about exploring these markets and about defining an identity rather than trying to mix things up. Yeah.
According to you, can a Cameroonian artist live a good life from the income gotten from their art?
Cameroonian artists live good lives. In spite of what the public might want to push them at. As part of the difficulties that they face, they live like Cameroonian artists. Artists pay dancers, artists pay team promotion, they pay bloggers, they pay, so they are making money. Of course, we're working so it can get better. But to say that art is not something that can pay you is the biggest fallacy you can think about, especially in the current economy.
And as a Ministry of Arts and Culture adequately supporting art in Cameroon?
I think that the Ministry of Arts and Culture, His Excellency Biding Pat, has a very good vision for Cameroon music, Cameroon culture generally, and it's a very noble vision that we all support. However, is the structures around him built to support that vision? That's doubtful. So we need to be really honest to say that Cameroon artists are not receiving as much as they should from their government in terms of support. And that sometimes leads to some of the confusion that we see around artists in our artist circles. But in terms of vision, and I think that in terms of will, I've seen a very progressive minister that we have. And my wish is that that he can get the support that he needs, whether it's from the structure around him and from the powers that be, to make sure that this vision comes to fruition. I think that the Minister of Arts and Culture, His Excellency Biding Pat, has a really good vision for Cameroonian music.
The Defunka, popularly known as Wax Day. That's what will put a cap to today's edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe television. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for your keen attention. Up next is Equinoxe Soir. Stay with us for details and more.